All right, let's jump right into a topic that is so important for anyone leading a nonprofit: policies and procedures. Now, I know it doesn't sound like the most exciting thing in the world, but trust me, this is the absolute bedrock of a strong, trustworthy, and effective organization.
These are the kind of headlines that give nonprofit leaders nightmares. And look, nobody sets out to make this kind of news. But these things often happen for a simple reason: a lack of clear guardrails. Without them, even the most passionate, well meaning teams can find themselves completely exposed.
So, in this explainer, we're going to map out exactly how you can build that strength and protection. We'll start by looking at the risks of, flying blind. Then we'll talk about why you should think of policies as your new best friend. After that, we'll walk through the whole policy lifecycle, cover the absolute must-haves, and wrap up with how to make them a powerful shield for your mission instead of just papers on a shelf.
First things first, the risks. Let's really dig into the hidden dangers and the kind of chaos that can sneak in when there's no clear game plan for how your organization runs day to day. I mean, just look at this. Without policies, this is what you get: pure chaos. And it's not because people have bad intentions, it's because everyone's running their own race. That leads to inconsistency, a ton of confusion, and for your board members, it creates a really dangerous gray area around their oversight role, which puts the whole organization at risk. So, how do you get away from that chaos? Well, the key is to stop thinking about policies as a bunch of restrictive rules and start seeing them for what they really are: your most valuable partner in making a real impact. A good set of policies and procedures acts like a shield, protecting your assets and your people. It builds a culture of trust by showing donors you are serious about accountability. Internally, it just makes everything run smoother, which saves you precious time and money. It empowers your team by getting rid of the guesswork and gives you a solid foundation to grow on. And this right here is a really crucial distinction to get. Think of it like this: the policy is the what and the why. It's your compass. It sets the direction you're heading. The procedure, on the other hand, is the how. That's your roadmap, the detailed step-by-step instructions on how to actually get there. You really can't have one without the other. You need both to work. But here's the thing: creating these isn't a one-and-done kind of project you can just check off a list. As we're about to see, it's a living, breathing, continuous cycle. Yeah, the best way to think about your policies is as dynamic tools that need to adapt. As your nonprofit grows, as you face new challenges, or as regulations change, your policies have to evolve right along with you. They're not meant to be carved in stone. This whole life cycle really breaks down into 6 key stages. You start with drafting, figuring out what you need. Then comes the review stage, where you get that all-important feedback. Adoption is when the board gives it the official stamp of approval. But it doesn't end there. You have to train everyone and actually implement it. And finally, and this is the part people often forget, you have to close the loop with regular reviews and updates to make sure it's still doing its job. Okay, so while there are a ton of policies you could have, there are a few that are considered the absolute bare minimum requirements for good governance. Let's talk about the 3 big ones. First up, the conflict of interest policy. This one is completely non-negotiable if you want to maintain public trust. It basically ensures that decisions are made for the good of the organization, not for the personal financial gain of a board member. Without this, you're risking scandals that can just demolish donor confidence overnight. Next is the whistleblower policy. Think of this as your internal safety valve. It creates a safe way for people on the inside to report problems before they feel like they have to go to the media or a lawyer. It's an early warning system that can save you from huge legal and reputational headaches. And finally, we have the document retention policy. I know, this one sounds a little dry, but it is so important. It tells everyone what to keep, how long to keep it, and how to get rid of it securely. Not having this can land you in serious legal trouble, not to mention it just creates operational chaos. Okay, so this brings us to the most crucial point. Once you have these policies in place, how do you make sure they actually become a real active shield for your organization instead of just documents collecting dust on a shelf? Well, these points right here are the key. It's all about clarity and access. Use plain language and make sure people can actually find them. It's also about getting buy-in. Explain the why behind the rule and get the people who will be using the policies involved in creating them. And finally, it's about consistency. Make sure everything lines up with your core mission. And that really is the ultimate takeaway here. For your policies to have any real value, they have to be used, they have to be monitored, and they have to be reviewed. They're an active part of your strategy, not some static document you put in a binder and forget about. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this question to think about for your own organization. Are your policies truly living tools, or are they just shelf decorations? Are they actually working as your best friend, actively shielding your mission and empowering your team every single day?